Hi students, in this video we will discuss about literature review, its definition, purpose, importance and sources. So it comes under third chapter of research. So what is literature review or review of literature? So it is before initiating any research, a search of literature of previous studies is being done to make your study better. Okay, so for example, if you are buying any product in the Amazon or Flipkart, we always look for the reviews from the other customers who bought it. Same like that, when you do a research, you will look for the other people who have done the research and their report, the method of the approach, everything we look to find the best way for our research. So it is one of the most essential step in the research process. It conveys about the work already done on a particular topic of research. So you will look for the other people's research which has been already done in the same topic and find or improve your knowledge related to the research. So what is the definition of literature review? It is a body of text that aims to review the critical points of knowledge on a particular topic of research. So what is it? It is a body of text. It means it is a written format, okay, which you review the previous research articles and get critical points or the knowledge on a particular topic of the research. So by looking at the previous research, you gain some knowledge which is related to your topic. That is called literature review. It is a process in which the researcher extends the awareness of scholarly works as well as develop faith in their own investigations. So by developing or by reviewing the others' literature, you will come to know or you will become more confident in your research work. That is called review of literature. It is also defined as systematic and comprehensive review of scholarly publications, AV materials, that is audiovisual materials, and personal communications. So the first and the last definitions are more easy. So it is defined as a systematic and comprehensive review of scholarly publications. That is, scholarly publication is those articles which are published in the journals, audiovisual materials and personal communications, which is called literature review. What is the purpose? The purpose and importance are almost same. So as it is given in different headings, we will discuss it separately. Purpose of literature review, the literature review helps you in every steps in the research process. For example, in the selection of research problem statement, one of the important sources is literature review. So from the time you select a problem, a research problem, from that time in every step of the research, the literature review helps. The literature serves as a basis for the topic. So because you are selecting a topic, if you are selecting it as an hypertension is a broad topic. So if you want to know where you want to do the research, we do always literature review. So to narrow down your topic, we always go for a literature review. So when you check in the internet or read some journals, you will come to know what are all the different types of research done on hypertension. So you will come to know or you will think that this aspect of hypertension is very important. You may think that lifestyle changes or dietary habits, so you pick one of that in your research. So it serves as a basis for the research. It determines the gaps and consistencies in the topic. So when you do research, you will come to know where are all the areas the research has been done. A lot of research has been done and there are areas where there is less studies done. So you can focus on that topic for your research. Got it? So by doing the literature review, you will come to know is there any gaps and consistencies or inconsistencies in the research. To discover unanswered questions about a subject. So if you have any doubt in your research topics, of course, literature review, you have to look for the others' research. It describes the strength and weakness of the design. It gives recommendations for future research. So whenever you look for the literature review, you just see what are the recommendations done by the other researcher, so that you will have an idea of what to do in your research. It narrows the problem to be studied, as I explained first. So it helps you to narrow down the topic to one specific topic, to locate theoretical and conceptual framework. So if you want to develop your theoretical and conceptual framework by looking at the other studies, you will get an idea. To plan the study methodology, to identify the research design, to identify what data collection tool they have used, so and what you are going to use. So all these ideas can be implemented through the literature review. So the literature review, the purpose is, it is the basis, and it fills the gaps and consistencies in the topic, and it gives some unanswered questions, and it helps to discover some unanswered questions, and it describes the strength and weakness of every design, and it finds recommendations related to the research topic. It narrows the problem to be studied, and it locates the theoretical and conceptual framework, and it helps in planning a study methodology. So what are all the importance? Sometimes it may resemble like a purpose. Yes, so what is the important? Identification of a research problems. The first step in the research process is identification of the research problem. So it helps in selection of research problem. Generation of useful research questions. So by reading lot of literatures, you will have lot of research questions. Discover unanswered questions related to the topic. Orientation of what is known to what is unknown. So by doing literature review, you will move from known to unknown. Identify replication of study settings and size. So you have seen that the research is done in China. You can replicate the same study by changing the setting in India and changing the size also. So if some study has been done in Karnataka, we can do it in Kerala by changing the study setting. To identify strength and weakness, as we discussed in purpose. Development of hypothesis. Of course, all the literature review, it helps in identification of hypothesis also. It helps in planning methodology, identification of design and data collection method, assistance in interpretation of findings. So if you can see that all these things have been steps in research process, so it means it helps in identification of problem, that is the conceptual phase, planning phase, implementation phase, and communication and utilization phases also. What are all the sources? The sources of literature review, it is broadly classified into primary sources and secondary sources. Primary sources are the things which are written by a person who developed the theory or conducted the research. For example, if I conduct a research, if I am writing a thesis, and if you are taking my thesis for your literature review, it is called primary source. What is secondary source? It is a summary or description of a research study that was written by someone other than the study investigator or the original researcher. That is, literature review articles are secondary. For example, if you are reviewing my thesis, that is primary source. But if you are reviewing my literature review in the research, so I write literature review content in my thesis. Yes, this author done this research in this area. So I have written some 10 literature reviews, and that literature review, if you are looking for, that is called secondary. Okay, primary is a first hand information, you get it from the researcher by himself, whereas secondary is the secondary source which is being taken from the published journals and other electronic sources. So what are all the main source of literature review? Or electronic database, books, journals, conference papers, thesis, encyclopedia and dictionaries, and research reports, that is primary, which is directly from the persons, magazines and newspapers. So these are all the different sources of literature review. Electronic database, that is our internet, books, journals, conference papers, thesis, encyclopedia, research reports and magazines and newspapers. So first one is electronic sources. These are computer assisted literature reviews. You can search in the internet database. So there are a lot of databases and the journal sites where you can see different types of articles which has been updated frequently. So these searches, however, for a variety of reasons may not be provided the desired references. But the problem here happens is electronic database is very big source, so you will get there will be a lot of data availability, so you may get confused with too much of informations. So that we need to be careful when we do this electronic data search, because you will get so many informations. So you can narrow down only to certain years, like past 5 years you can do the search, so that you will have minimum data. So there are different types of databases available. The very common one which is used by the medical and nursing students or PubMed. PubMed is very common and easy one, where you will get lot of research journals. Google Scholar, lot of articles will be seen in the normal Google search. If you do a Google Scholar search, you will get plenty of research articles. CNAL is a common nursing database, cumulative index to nursing and allied health literature. So it is CNAL, www.cnal.com. that site, if you go, you will get plenty of nursing related articles. Cochrane database for system review. It is also medical database where you can get lot of articles. Medline, which is a common one, medical literature. PsycInfo, that is psychology information. AIDS Line, cancer literatures. Health Star, which includes health services, technology, administration and research oriented articles. And there is combined health information database, that is CHID. So all these sites you can look for articles related to your topic when you do the literature review. The next is printed sources. You all know that what are all the printed sources available. Actually, the journals which is in the libraries, that is a printed material which is used for literature review. You can use the printed dissertation copies from the seniors or from the masters, which is available in the library. We can use it as a literature review. So all these printed sources can be used as a review for the relevant literature review. So some of the journals here are national nursing journals and international nursing journals. So these are all some of the journals, and most of them will be available in your library, which you can use it for your literature review. And there are online journals nowadays, as the websites have been created by all the journals. So there is a lot of journals which is online. You can get the abstract of the articles from that, and some of them has to be paid for full article review. Okay, so there is nursefriendly.com, medbio world, nursing Arizona, and plenty more online journals are available. You will get the abstract of all the articles. So other than this electronic and printed sources, there is research reports which is written by your senior or your masters. Those who studied masters, you can use that as your literature review. Unpublished dissertation and thesis, magazines and newspapers, conference papers and proceedings, encyclopedias, dictionaries, and of course books. So you can include all these things in your literature review. Hope you understood the sources of literature review. So the main source is electronic database nowadays. Other than that, books, journals are available online as well, and there are printed materials like magazine, newspapers, research reports, thesis. All those things comes under printed materials. There is conference papers and encyclopedia and dictionary, and books can be the source for literature review. So we have discussed the definition, purpose, importance, and sources of literature review. See you in the other video with the other topic. Thank you.